FutureDad 31. How to conduct yourself in the office. Quote, "The job that's never started takes longest to finish." J.R.R. Tolkien. Yet another thing that they don't teach you in school is how to navigate the modern workplace. Unfortunately for most men, unless a red-pilled friend or family member works in a corporate office and is willing to bring you up to speed, you will be woefully unprepared for it. That is a recipe for disaster in your new career. So in this essay I will provide guidance for your new office job. See also FutureDad 24, you are paid for your focus, with the disclaimer that some of this is not teachable. You will have to make your own mistakes. I certainly did. Here are 10 key tips. 1. Wear a good suit. 2. Don't be fat. 3. Never get emotional. 4. Do the thing. 5. Write but don't send controversial emails. 6. Never send long, complex emails. 7. Don't drink after work. 8. Never indulge any romantic relationships. 9. Never declare your political allegiances. 10. Practice aggressive accountability. 1. Wear a good suit. I mean that. Don't dress down because everyone else is. You're not dressing for your current role, you're dressing for the next one and the one after that. Read FutureDad 19, The Death of Customer Service, and FutureDad 27, How to Pick Your Long-Term Girlfriend. In it I talk about the importance of having low time preference. That mindset also applies here. You are crafting a long-term reputation, not just showing up somewhere that day in order to pay bills. So you need to be and look professional. Furthermore, most people are stupid. Their perception is that you can't look scruffy and at the same time do a good job. It's too confusing to process. So make it easy by connecting the dots for them. 2. Don't be fat. Not in any way whatsoever. People correctly associate being fat with poor self-control. You rarely see fat CEOs. The exception to this is when they've been the CEO for a long time and they are jaded and no longer care. Even when the body positivity plague inflicted the West in the 2010s, you still rarely saw a senior corporate executive looking like they should be towed back out to sea. Influencers, who babble that fat looks fabulous, would act mortally wounded if they themselves were called fat. Likewise, co-workers will act kind to a massive fatty, but no one would willingly choose to sit beside him every day, especially while he's eating. Heed revealed preferences, not the virtue signalling of activists, political or not. 3. Never get emotional, even when it is warranted by the circumstances. That especially applies if someone is already emotional and says something to provoke the same. There is simply no excuse for emotionality at work, ever. If you do strictly refrain from it, over time you will build a reputation of being unflappable and the voice of reason. That's the type of employee who is trusted, respected, and eventually promoted. Note that I am not extolling the virtues of grinding away just for promotion. It depends if you approve the approvers. So it could be equally advantageous to resign on a high. By the same token, praise of colleagues should be public and plentiful, and criticism only ever in private, directly to the person. 4. Do the thing. The thing is the action which you have been putting off. See FutureDad 14, Habits Part 1, Habits Eat Willpower for Breakfast. Build the habit that you always grit your teeth and do the annoying or importunate thing now, not later, especially if no one else does it. The success of your early career hinges on making yourself reliable and indispensable. The success of your later career hinges on deep knowledge of your field and the confidence that comes with it. Both of these outcomes stem from the habits practiced in your early career. That's why half-assing it is so hard to recover from. That's why doing the thing is important to build your personal brand. But don't, early in your career, do it and then stand back waiting for applause. It takes several outstanding years in a row to build a noteworthy reputation. That's a lot of time waiting for plaudits that never come. External reward is unreliable and occasional, so base your motivation on personal excellence instead. 5. Write but don't send controversial emails. Draft the email if you must, then go back to it the next day and review it with a cooler head. You will find yourself naturally amending it to something more constructive and/or professional. Save it in drafts a second time and go do something else. When you return to it a second time, ask yourself, would you be happy if the CEO read it? If yes, and you must send it, then do so. Any hesitation with the above proves that the underlying issue is best solved in person or in video call. 6. Never send long, complex emails. Your email will not be the most important thing in anyone's life that day. Today I read a targeted marketing email that was 6 very long paragraphs. I read the first 2 lines and deleted it, even although, tragically for the sender, I was interested in the service. The email was too wordy and convoluted, and I projected that error in judgment onto the sender. Learn from this. After writing your complex email, cut it to 3 paragraphs, then cut each paragraph to a maximum 4 lines. Then save it in drafts and leave it to simmer. When you return to it later, you will spot further ways to trim the fat. This time, cut it to 2 paragraphs of a maximum 3 lines each. When you practice this technique enough, you may be able to edit long emails in 2 steps, not 3. But never try to do it in 1 step. That's not how editing works. 7. Don't drink after work. It's a waste of time and money, and your colleagues are not your friends. They would be called friends if they were. Arrange activities separate from work if they are friends who you just happen to work with. Then, once you leave that job, or they do, they may naturally become your genuine friends after a sufficient gap to break the spell of work. Only when you are free from work association will it be clear that the friendship is credible. If you need to or want to socialize with a colleague, go for a walk or have lunch together. 8. Never indulge any romantic relationships. That includes with any of your current colleagues, clients or suppliers. Do not even flirt. You will avoid the many inglorious pitfalls of failed work romances. You will carry an unimpeachable reputation because of your professional conduct. It only takes one impulsive act to undo all of that. 9. Never declare your political allegiances. It's a dunderheaded assumption made by office juniors to managing directors that everyone shares your own political orientation. It's also painfully arrogant and indicates leakage, i.e. undesired release of private beliefs, and is a sign of failing to observe ego. Think of how pompous you come across when advertising your political beliefs to a group of people whose only commonality is the same employer. Don't ever do this. You ostracize those who don't share your view and sometimes embarrass those who do. 10. Practice aggressive accountability. Announce you are at personal fault for a mistake, even when it is only fractionally yours. That is what a leader does. Conversely, always say we in association with every success. People will come to know your modesty and mentally correct to overestimate your contribution and heavily downplay your failures. That benign glow will last your whole career without you even trying. FutureDad.